kick the show off right.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here with me, cause
It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight.
let's get the topic straight, let's get things good, let's do everything that we should.
It's Project Open Mic. Let's kick the show off right.
Let's open our minds and take out our style. Let's see what's going on in the world tonight.
It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's kick the show off right. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's kick the show off right. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's kick the show off right.
Alrighty, what's going on, everybody? This is your usual Thursday night where we talk about all stuff that's going down. Thank you for giving us your time and your ear and everything to join us for another Project Open Mic. Tonight we're gonna be talking about. I want to hit this topic a little more because a lot of people is not really picking up on it, which is kind of messed up. But I found that out. But of course, I have my lovely wife Asa with me. So
hi everyone. I'm keeping it cozy tonight. This is my little sweater poncho. Travis was like, "Are you gonna wear that?" And I didn't even realize it was time to do the show, to be quite honest with you. We've been binging on old episodes of The Blacklist. So I was all like sucked into that little binge hole, and then I looked at the clock. I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna keep this on."
Okay, so yes, so tonight we're gonna be talking about, like I said before, we're gonna talk about the real, the implication of that whole thing. Yes, it wasn't part of Biden's plan, but the woman that he did appoint to be head of the FHA, how it's basically screwing people. In my opinion, it's kind of messed up that you do good, you spend money, you work hard, and you're getting punished for working hard and doing it right. So I want to use another report from one of the YouTubers I like to use. It's uncensored, and we're gonna talk about more of like what's going on with the education system a little bit, and a little bit of Chicago again, just to dip into so you can see, because we're gonna kind of a report from a person who lives in one of the Chicago cities and talk about what's going on. So that's what we're gonna be doing. So with that said, like I said, hope you guys are doing good. Hope you all having a blessed night. I know, like I said, everything's crazy out there, but settle in. I remember you also check us out on all. If you're on Facebook, Temper FM, YouTube. You go to the description box, and Nico, you go to the description box. There should be, if you don't want, you could share, contact, do what you can. There's links to our Spotify, Anchor, Stitcher, any place we're gonna do again. I'm working to get Apple iPod onto it as well too.
Of course.
Yeah, so we gotta get that in
Can't
there.
leave out us Apple.
Okay. Now you're just being sarcastically what it is. But
I am a converted Apple user. I didn't think I would ever get an iPhone.
Yes, but
and now I have one.
Now she has one.
I want him to have one.
And
I don't think that's ever gonna happen.
That's not gonna happen.
House divided.
Well, anyway, because again, you're gonna be helping me this week to build a PC, not a Mac. You can't do that. So
this weekend?
Yeah. Well,
I like how you just slid that in there. So,
no, I told you that.
No, like while doing the show. Oh, yeah, you're gonna be helping me. What does it have to do with an iPhone, Travis?
Okay, whatever. All right.
For this weekend,
maybe so.
And we'll probably record that because that's gonna be quite a It's gonna be entertainment.
Yeah,
I'll put it that way.
Yeah, it's gonna be entertainment. Because basically, also we're gonna have our channel. We do have a channel basically, but it's private right now called T3 Life, where we're gonna be more blogs about our journey and also what we've experienced from from dating up to the point of marriage and beyond, of course.
Yeah.
And talk about relationships and stuff. Because literally, just a while ago, we had a deep conversation. A while ago while watching Blacklist, like we paused, but we got into family and how it would have been if like I was at this time of my life,
right?
If I met
if
her
we had dated each other at a different time period of our lives, if we had known each other then. We usually do like a little deep dive conversation, little deep conversation weekly. But I remember something just real quick when we were engaged, and it was a list that I was reading out to you.
Add featured.
Oh, sorry. My
Privacy.
bad. My bad.
Well, if you want me to
Terms.
shut up, all you had to do was tell me.
Advertising. Privacy.
No, that's my.
Did you see that, by the way? He's looking at his Facebook account, and there is a cheesecake recipe that I just started drooling over, and I tagged you in it.
I saw it.
You didn't respond. My husband ignores me on Facebook. He's not a Facebook person. So if I tag him in something or whatever, he gives it no attention at all. But anyhow, there was a list that I had saw when I was reading out to him that was like popular events in a couple's life that are like monumental testers to their relationship, and one of them was planning a wedding and traveling. And then I said, let's add to that list. And I think that building a computer together would definitely be one of those things that add to the list of a monumental challenge for couples, especially when one of those people
never done it
and has never
we're
cared to do it.
One thing that we're also doing is we're basically from this weekend starting, we're gonna be doing stuff to the house.
Yeah, but
painting and DIY projects.
But DIY.
I think of a computer as a DIY. That's what I think. That's just.
And that shows you the way we are different. But I digress.
Yes, the way we are different. Yes, that's so. Give me a second while
No problemo. Back to that cheesecake. So he here is like known for being a good cheesecake. I don't even want to say baker. He's very skilled in it. He's skilled in the Alton Brown method of cheesecake cooking. He's really good at fixing a really legit good cheesecake. So
to the point where people keep on telling me that I bought it from stores.
Yeah, they think he bought it. They think it's store bought. But
you see me done it.
I've seen you do it.
Yeah.
But you just check out that recipe that I shared you.
Okay, dear. I got you.
Keep that in your back pocket for our little 6-month anniversary.
Got you. Okay. All right. So let me just get back to the point at hand. Sorry about that. Just making sure everything was good to go. So yes. So in other words, let's just jump into it and our little dialogue together. But again, when I'm ready, I'll set it up. T3 Life. Again, it is called that T3 Life. That's what the name of the channel. So it'll be put a link as well, and of course T3records.com is kind of up, but I need to work on that as well to finish that up and stuff for many stuff in the future. But for right now, let's just get into the topic at hand and talk about the situation which needs to be talked about.
And I thought the title was so fitting because when it was first brought into discussion, I said, this sounds just like socialism. I mean, it's its own form of it. And
yeah, you hurt the people who are doing good and you giving the people back. And I'll tell you again with this, we're going through it, but again, people are saying, well, it's just 1% here, 2% here, that made a difference. The problem is, which is with the happened in 2008, and we already don't see the three major banks that has failed this year so far had more money than the 200 banks that kind of failed in 2008.
Yeah,
3 banks have that much money, so that's a problem.
It is a problem, and not to mention it, that's a moral issue with this, and I get it. It sounds sappy, but the Biden administration does not need one more immoral move against the American people, rewarding people who have poor credit and penalizing those who have better. No. I mean, they're doing it. It is what it is, but
you see, those are the votes they want so they could keep their
That's
scheme.
true.
That's what it is. Hey, I got a house because of that. Even though I can't afford the house, that might be a problem. That's what the problem is. People's like, oh, it's just living the money. Yeah. And I just found out, just today as well, too, it excludes, again, the filthy rich.
Yeah.
You'll see. Which I'm like, oh, once again, the middle class get effed over. The filthy rich, damn kid, they don't got to worry about that.
Yeah.
But the middle class, so if you have a score between, you'll see, you have a score between a certain amount. Because I was like, wait a minute. Now that I got into it more, they're talking a certain amount of people with scores, which is the middle class. So they're going from 620 to 680, and then 720 to 760. Anybody above that, they ain't messing with. Anybody below the other one, they ain't messing with. Now, yeah. So you'll see right here. So let's just jump right into it.
I feel like they're watching the Hunger Games play out. Who wants
Basically.
to volunteer for tribute? Oh, we're not volunteering anymore. Who scores this?
Got you.
That what it really is? Does it really make a difference?
That picture right there says right there.
Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. Obviously, one of the biggest purchases people make in their lives is a house. It's such a big purchase that more often than not, people have to get a mortgage to get one, unless they're inheriting it from dead parents. So that's why this guy's so happy. To get a good mortgage, you need a good credit.
Probably. Psych.
That meme is too.
We've done so much with memes in our time. I mean,
yes.
But yeah.
If you have a high credit score, that's a sign you're less likely to default on your loans, so you're more likely to get low interest rates. Those with low credit scores are a higher risk for the institution offering the loan, so they're more likely to get high interest rates. Got to pay for defaults somehow. Same reason why betting on the favorite in a sport gets you less money if you win. There's less risk. That's why if you have bad credit, you need to find the banker who's a degenerate gambler. Determining the interest rate for any given borrower is an arcane process that involves navigating government regulations and corporate risk models. And the calculus just became more complicated because the Federal Housing Finance Agency, the FHFA, recently changed the rules. Now, having good credit could mean higher costs for a home mortgage.
Like, how that makes sense to anybody? Seriously. That don't make no sense.
There are a lot of stated reasons for the change, but one reason is equity. Because of course it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? That's why I don't like that word. That word is coming very, very messed up. And we were talking about that we were talking about that today too. Trigger words. That's just like that's one of the words too when they said it, because we know it don't mean what it means, but just say it. They just say it out of just for no reason.
According to 2021 data analyzed by FinMasters, Hispanics, blacks, and Native Americans tend to have lower credit rating scores than whites, which can translate into higher mortgage rates. U.S. Census Bureau data shows that homeownership rates also have an equity gap. The FHFA...
Let's go to a second there. Look at this. Look at this.
Wow.
Let me take off the caption.
And you see there was a rise in 2004 among the black community in that.
Yeah, we were starting to do good.
Wow.
And then look at it. It just plummeted after that. For 2018, which is reasonable. It's lower than that.
There you go, folks.
This the thing.
Also have an equity gap. The FHFA wants to promote equitable and sustainable access to homeownership. So it applied new loan level price adjustment fees
All these
that
weird
apply to
words.
Americans buying houses or refinancing after the beginning of this month. Remember when I said determining rates was an arcane process? Yeah. The new fees only apply to loans backed by two government-run entities, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. But together they back about 2/3 of the mortgages in the country. The fee schedule doesn't affect borrowers taking loans backed by the Federal Housing Administration, the Department of Veteran Affairs, or the U.S. Department of Agriculture. So the changes don't apply to certain types of borrowers. And I know some of you may have a hard time following this since houses are so expensive that the only plan many millennials have for one day owning a home is, well, yeah.
Basically.
The fee is grabbing a lot of attention because it raises costs for some home buyers with good credit, which makes it seem like they're being punished for doing the right thing.
Right.
Just like poor Ned Stark. At least he didn't have to suffer through that last season.
Oh boy. See, I get that reference.
Okay.
And
yeah.
it was yeah, pretty spot on.
Okay.
So, for example, under the new rules, the fee for a home buyer who pays a 20% down payment with a credit score between 740 and 759, which is quite good, will double from 0.5% to 1%. If this was for the average cost of a home, which is around $400,000, the fee would rise from $2,000 to $4,000. Meanwhile, the fee for a home buyer with a 5% down payment with a credit score between 640 and 659 will reduce from 2.75% to 1.5%. That means the fee for a $400,000 home would reduce from $11,000 to $6,000. Keep in mind the new rules only apply to fees. They don't affect interest rates. But still, some people who were irresponsible financially will get massive discounts, meaning they ended up being responsible financially. Oh, my old roommate bought a new Jaguar while working at McDonald's. An apology. He was playing 4D chess the whole time. According to the Washington Times, home buyers with a 680 or higher credit score will pay an estimated $40 per month more on a $400,000 home loan than they previously would have. That will amount to roughly $14,000 over the life of a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage.
Wow.
Meanwhile, according to the Heritage Foundation, those with below average credit scores and no down payment on a median-priced home will save about $8,000 over a 30-year mortgage. I'm starting to wonder how I can lower my credit score.
And that is definitely the tone that they're sending. Like that's the message that they're sending. So
That's what it is. So again, I forget. I feel.
What a waste. The poor children.
I feel for your children. It's a waste.
Critics attack the new rule, saying that it punishes buyers with good credit.
Yes.
Subsidizes high-risk home buyers at their expense,
Which,
especially Asians, since their credit scores are, on average, even better than whites. In response to the public criticism on mortgage pricing, the FHFA posted a statement saying higher credit score borrowers are not being charged more so that lower credit score borrowers can pay less. So, what's going on? How does the new rule actually work? I'll explain after the break.
well, we could figure out. Okay, that to me is more of just talking. You know?
yeah.
Welcome back. Many reports say Biden is hiking payments for good credit home buyers to subsidize high-risk mortgages. This is making a lot of people nervous. The National Association of Realtors has urged the FHFA to eliminate the fee increase on strong credit borrowers. Meanwhile, the CEO of the National Association of Home Builders says that he's afraid that it could decrease home ownership among the middle class.
Right. Because they're punishing the middle class.
We as a saying.
Who, of course, lives the most cushiony lives in America says nobody.
We are the backbone of America, basically. Literally, we are the
Yeah.
middle class, and that's what kills me about it. Again, my saying of the rich will get rich, the poor we fight for crumbs, and of course, middle class we get effed over. That's what it is.
This is a prime example of that.
Which is ridiculous, because homeownership has already decreased among the middle class. This is like someone saying they're afraid if McDonald's makes the McRib available year-round, then America might develop an obesity problem. Even the former Obama-era commissioner of the Federal Housing Administration slammed the plan.
I played that video last week.
That was last week's.
Even him, an Obama guy, was like, "Yeah, this is crazy."
Yeah.
Saying in a social media post, to do this at the onset of the spring market is almost offensive to the market, consumers, and lenders.
Yes.
Which is saying something, especially for the market in San Francisco, where this townhome...
That was clever. That was clever.
I like that. A townhome. That's a townhome. And that's the truth. That is a townhome in San Francisco.
Is going for $3 million. Offending that market ain't easy. On the other side, people say that Biden isn't forcing home buyers with good credit to pay more than borrowers with bad credit. Which is true, but it's kind of missing the point because that's not what most critics are saying. It's not about whether or not Biden is doing it. The issue is people who have been responsible financially are being charged to pay for those who haven't. Fact-checking website Snopes also sidestepped the most common critiques by denying that Biden was pushing them, citing White House officials and the lack of related congressional measures and executive orders. Perhaps Biden didn't introduce the specific changes, but given that he's been very vocal about narrowing the racial wealth gap and expanding homeownership, it's not too far of a stretch to at least say that he and the federal agency had converging interests here.
Exactly.
They both thought the changes would make them look good.
Right.
Yep.
It's kind of like if Pikachu got kidnapped and then you saw him with Team Rocket. Even if they weren't the ones who physically kidnapped him, maybe we should fix the situation before arguing over semantics. Whether or not it's Biden's plan, many are saying the new pricing is not subsidizing high-risk mortgages or punishing those with better credit.
Who in the world? Who's saying that?
Yeah.
Unless it's people who are Urban Institute. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised they would say that because they're the ones. There's the same kind of people who speak for blacks but keep blacks down. I'm telling y'all need to watch how some of these talks be. Because that don't make no sense what that phrase just says right there.
To FHFHA Director Sandra Thompson, some updated fees are higher and some are lower in differing amounts. They do not represent pure decreases for high-risk borrowers or pure increases for low-risk borrowers. Many borrowers with high credit scores or large down payments will see their fees decrease or remain flat. And she's telling the truth. It's way more complicated than the media makes it out to be. In general, though, those with credit scores above 680 who put 15% to 20% down on a home will feel the biggest increases.
Now you see what I was talking about?
Right.
You see, they're not going over a certain amount of number. That's the thing. So you're lower down here, they ain't mess with you. You up here, 780s and above, they barely touch you. That's what I was saying.
They're basically saying, we see you've got money, so don't mind us as we wring every penny we can from you. Thanks for shopping with us. Now, that's customer service.
Yeah.
As for those who have low credit scores, Thompson says the new rule doesn't incentivize them to make lower down payments to benefit from lower fees. That's because those who make low down payments typically pay mortgage insurance premiums, which raise the overall costs.
Yes.
And according to the Urban Institute, those with lower credit scores will still pay more than those with higher credit scores. So if you have more money, you'll pay more. And if you have less money, you'll also pay more.
Pay more. Exactly.
Poor get poorer, and the middle class also gets poorer.
Thank you. That's what I just said. He didn't say high class. He didn't say the class where these people are sitting in.
But these are and I hate to say this, and I hate to sound so divided, but these are it's become more increasingly worse. But these are the type of tactics that you're seeing with the Democratic Party and them trying to think of clever ways to I don't even know what this is supposed to be. I honestly don't. He says it's an equity plan to I don't
It's
see
not gonna be equity
it's
because again,
not.
when the bubble pops and you can't afford the house, like what happened in 2008, you ain't gonna get a house either.
Exactly.
And you're gonna be worse off because your credit gonna be super messy. Look, foreclosing on a car, defaulting on other stuff is that you foreclose on a house. That misses your credit for 7 years at the most.
At the least. So yeah.
America's economy is doing great.
As
New
the
rule
housing, if the housing
sucks
market
for a
didn't need to
number of
be
people.
more complex as it
On top
is.
of being convoluted, it reduces the award for stellar credit. That's why some people call it President Biden's mortgage socialism,
Yep.
a punishment to those who do well to help those who do poorly. And the concept definitely has some issues. But how much of an impact does this really have? The U.S. government clearly has in its mind low-income people with bad credit scores, not the fiscally irresponsible rich. The government says it wants to help people buy houses, but the new rules are actually not going to be much help. Not much help. That should be on the seal of Congress.
Amen.
People will be disappointed since they'd never expect anything in the first place.
Exactly.
Remember the example I gave earlier about how much a home buyer with a low credit score would save buying a $400,000 home? That seems like a lot of money, but keep in mind that it's just an example of a house at the average national cost. Chances are the low-income minority family that the U.S. government is targeting is going to aim for a house that's a lot cheaper.
Yes.
In a low-income, predominantly Black and Hispanic place like Camden, New Jersey, you're looking at houses that cost around $95,000 on average, which also means a smaller discount. Under the new rule, people with low credit are going to save a lot less compared to a $400,000 home. On top of that, the updated fees will still increase as credit scores decrease for any given level of down payment.
That's the
So
part
don't
of stupid.
worry,
That's the part that's
credit.
crazy.
You're not being punished to subsidize people with bad credit. You're being punished for no reason at all.
Oh,
Don't you
it's
feel All this goes to show that the new rule is really just the U.S. government talking big. It's trying to put on a big show to say that it's tackling poverty in housing. What the U.S. government is actually doing is just giving low-income families with bad credit crumbs of money and encouraging them to go into debt to buy something they can't afford.
Thank you.
It's definitely never led to any negative repercussions, especially in 2008.
Thank you.
Speaking.
Which we're already
Yeah.
repeating the same
Yeah.
cycle now with the banks and everything.
Yeah.
We're repeating the cycle again.
And why
The
is he
different-
doing this? It's strategic because
Yeah.
of the election coming. He thinks that this
Yeah.
is going to show
But
positive
people,
on him.
But why I always say people are stupid, individuals smart. I'm sorry. Just that's been proven more and more when you're like, why would you do this? But they don't care. And here's the thing about it. The bad part about this, when this bubble pops, the worst, is we have crazy inflation. We had crazy inflation back in 2008. We have crazy inflation now.
Right.
Where eggs are costing $7, $10. Back then, eggs were still 99 cents for a dozen.
The good old days.
Ain't that the sad part? You got to go back to your last recession to say the good old days.
Right. Good Lord.
Waiting on the government and politicians to save people is one of the most unproductive things you can do because
Ever.
they won't save you.
Thank you.
Rich or poor, people ought to take it upon themselves to learn how to budget and know if going into debt is really worth it. If they do go into debt, they should be able to pay it off because buying a house is one of the biggest purchases you'll ever make.
Yeah.
And if you screw that up, the government won't save you.
Exactly.
No.
So what do you think of the new mortgage rule?
It's just for numbers. They won't save you. No, I think the mortgage rules are basically. I think they're bad. But
Yeah. And it's just all he's trying to make himself look positive in the height of the election season coming back up, and
yeah,
I guess he's trying to appeal to people who see this as a positive policy. But yeah.
yeah, and that's what's going on now. You're just seeing that way. It's just crazy. But it is what it is. And they're just, the thing about it is that they try, people will vote for the incrementalists of life, try to be better. Like, yes, you have a house, but again, but if you can't afford that house,
Right.
it will hurt you in the long run. It will hurt you in the long run.
Yeah.
I mean, so the comments again, equity equals everyone's poor. Wendy Sue from New York. We've been punished for saving for years. This is the next level, but follows the same path.
Yeah.
John Anson from Virginia.
What up, Virginia?
Home ownership is already a nightmare. Property taxes are like paying life.
Yes.
Property taxes is like paying a lifetime of rent for someone you owe.
Right.
A big scam.
That's so true. And we see that fluctuate and well, not fluctuate, drive up and up every year. And so you add, that's why I say you.
Yeah, that is true because
our
like I said,
housing market was already complex enough. We did not need one more thing.
When I bought this house that I'm in, with this house, I remember my taxes went double. And it was because, again, a lot of North Carolinians, including Wake County, Wake County and everything, they fall for the old okie doke and the stupidity of it. Because we voted to bring taxes down. This is the second time we did this in North Carolina. And we passed it. People voted for it. And some lawyer, some judge, which the last judge was a black judge and a Democrat appointee, said it's unconstitutional for us to go lower taxes. So I'm like, what are you talking about?
Unconstitutional.
So the at the time, I've talked about this before, at the time, it was at 9%. We voted to say that it should get no more than 7.5%. No more than that. And when he let it, broke it off and said this, whatever, the max is 11%. They jump it up to 10.5. So my property tax went from $1,600 to $2,400. And then over the years up to now, it's getting close to $3,000 because it went up again this year. It's going to go up again next year.
That's pretty pricey in this area.
Yeah, and that's messed up.
Wow.
And I need to see where the money's going towards, I should say.
Good luck down that rabbit hole.
We know where you can whatever. Jesse Surratt from East Florida. You're about to make me laugh harder with using the video you guys use, which is they do a good job. America Uncensored, and I have also China there's America Uncover, and then the next channel they have is called China Uncensored. Very good channels if you want to learn about stuff outside the mainstream media, where they don't put stuff behind you like that. It's good. But yeah, he does good jokes. Again, something I can't pronounce some of y'all names, so I like a thing. But you are in America, but Quantum Ashin. Maybe if contractors build a fewer, I think Mexican or Hispanic.
I don't know. It's a beautiful name.
Yeah. Maybe if contractors build few $30 million luxury properties, more affordable, modest, but comfortable houses for the average America buying home.
Nailed it.
Still, houses will be average. Buying homes will still be affordable and attainable goal for my generation. That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Because and he's saying my generation, or he or she. I'm assuming that. I'm assuming they're probably in his 20s, maybe. At which we have seen studies that are saying how a lot of people that are graduated from college are returning right back home because they can't afford to be living out on their own, literally. Yep. So, yeah.
And Holy replies that the money in the housing is made at both the high and low end. issues is that a lot of people say they want more affordable housing, just not in their backyards.
Right.
That is so true.
That's true.
That is true.
That is true.
So, so again, I just want to bring that up because again, people need to understand this. You see how the situation is going, and again, that's how they sneak stuff into there, and then you're like, oh, how is this helping anybody? As you just said, it was just true. It's hurting the middle class, and it's hurting the lower class.
Yeah.
But of course, anybody who, like I showed in the chart, anybody that makes who's up in the 800s and $1 million loan and all that stuff, they ain't gotta worry about nothing.
No. Oh boy.
So anyway, let's get into I want to go into, because again, I want to make sure I want to talk about a little bit about Chicago again, and then get into San Francisco, and we call it night because I want my lovely wife to get some good rest.
Don't have to put me on the spot. You need your sleep just like I do.
Got you. Okay, so let's look at just common sense stuff. All right, these are the same politicians who say, "Oh, black people get locked up too much." That this is so weird. I never understand that logic to me. Black people get locked up, so we should not lock them up. I got a simple thing. How about you don't do a crime? That's the best thing. I don't care what race you are.
Yeah.
Don't do a crime. If you do
Yeah.
a crime, I don't care what color, what gender, what race, whatever. You do evil, you should go to jail. Point blank, period.
Correct.
So let's listen from a former criminal guy. Because the laws in California is you can rob up to $900 and don't go to jail. But that adds up over and over and over again. It's so stupid.
Oh my Lord.
That state's gonna falter bad. So let's listen to this.
I really believe that our police force has decided to just say to hell with it, and they're just not really pushing the issue like they used to. They're not holding people accountable. So if I have a number of petty thefts, like more than 2, more than 3, at some point, there used to be the law when you had what's called a petty with a prior. If you had enough of those, you could have a felony. They stopped that. So you can have 30 petty thefts on your jacket and never be sent nowhere for it.
See?
Never be held accountable for it. But when I got out of prison, I was actually getting ready to go back in, which was sell drugs and use drugs. Pro agent said they're gonna violate me and send me back to prison. Everybody said, you need to go to a program. So I went to a program. I went to Delancey Street. And actually, Delancey Street is what actually saved my life, because part of their philosophy is accountability and being responsible for your actions.
Exactly.
I never did that. I never took responsibility for anything. I always blamed everybody on the planet for why I did what I did, and I'd make excuses for it. We have to begin to teach our communities and our folks how to take responsibility for their behavior, not make excuses for it.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. But you see, 30, 40, you could do
And
criminal
let's go back.
crime.
Let's get the name of that. What was that group that he got?
Oh, sorry.
Go back in, which was sell drugs and use drugs. Pro agent said they're gonna violate me and send me back to prison. Everybody said, you need to go to a program. So I went to a program. I went to Delancey Street.
Okay. Shout out to them.
Delancey Street Foundation.
It actually saved my life, because part of
And this is again California Insider talking about it, because you could steal up to $900. You know what stuff you could do for $900?
But it's just, again, like I said, the principle of the matter. You're basically saying, oh, we're just gonna excuse you for stealing.
Yeah.
Stealing should be wrong, period. Point blank. Yeah, of course, you don't get 10 years for stealing a pack of gum like you would, but you should they should acknowledge it. It shouldn't just be like, oh, well, it's the $900. No, but I guess that's just me.
This is a person now in Chicago. The Walmarts are closing in Chicago for a reason. Let's hear from a person who lives there, who goes there, who does it in Chicago.
Doubled in Chicago in the last 5 years. That losing millions of dollars a year is forcing them to close these stores.
I might get in trouble for saying this, but I feel like it needs to be said. Walmart is closing 4 stores in areas where they are saying they're not profitable, right? And people are outraged. I mean, outraged. So the big Walmart over on 83rd and Stewart, is closing, and today they've been having a bunch of protests, angry people out. People are just angry and sad protesting Walmart. We got politicians out there making speeches saying, how could Walmart do this to the community? And now they're calling Walmart racist for taking a resource out of the black community, and how dare them. They need to explain how it is that Walmart is not profitable when this store is always full, it's always packed, people are always shopping. Do y'all want Walmart to just like come out and say it? Y'all ninjas steal.
Right.
What I'm saying is,
Right.
is that black people need to stop lying.
And it's the truth. I don't care what color you are. Walmart is about making money.
Yeah.
They're not going to close a store because they see too many black people walking around. They don't care. They don't care what color you are. But when they're getting,
you bring the color that's green.
Exactly. But when they have theft after theft in their store, that hurts. That hurts a store's profit, point blank. If they can't make the money if the product isn't there.
Yeah.
And then not only that, they have to, when they have the thefts initially, they're putting more money traditionally into hiring more security and things in that nature. So they're just pouring more money into a situation that is depleting because of people wanting to come in and rob.
And again, here's the thing that kills me about this that people need to understand too, because nobody thinks about it this way. I'm going to put you on, maybe you thought about it, or maybe not. Let me just go full screen because I want to so you guys can see this, and you know this. No, seriously, like, it is weird. The reason I say because, yes, Walmart's moving out. So here's the thing. Walmart's moving out. That means that a lot of people who work at Walmart
Are out of a job.
That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So, and most of those people were basically were black people.
Right. Because there are people protesting about Walmart closing and how can you do this to the community? Well, them closing is a result of people stealing, and as a result of that, the workers that work there are out of a job who are most likely, we can assume, people who live in that community.
But here's the thing, it goes beyond that too. The reason I say that, what about the people who drive the truck for the stuff to Walmart? True. How about the people who does the
such a domino effect.
The beer deliveries,
yeah,
the drink deliveries, the chips,
the
chips, the regular local guys, the local people doing that, they lost a job too.
Mm-hmm.
They lost an opportunity, or nevertheless, they lost a job because Lay's might say, hey, they ain't got a Walmart in there, so we got to let a couple people off.
Basically, the Girl Scouts, they don't have a place to sell the Girl Scout cookies. I'm just joking. But, it's a domino effect. It really is. And I'm very annoyed. And she's telling the truth, and I commend her. But she lives there, assumingly, and commend her for being transparent and saying that. I am very annoyed with the protesters who are trying to make this a black thing and a racist thing. No, it's a theft problem. And if you want to protest and come at anybody, start talking to these people who are going in and being ratchet and stealing. That's just always been a thing with me. People who steal. Like, I've never been able to trust somebody who steals. Because you as a kid, if I was a teenager, I couldn't hang around somebody who stole. Because then I'm like, okay, if you come over to my house, I got to look around and see if everything, that's just not a principle that I've just been able to go with. And in today's time, in today's culture, this is not little Paul or little Peter who hadn't had anything to eat for 5 days. No, these are people who just want to steal. These are just, so yeah. They're gonna close, and what will come in that place? I don't know. Probably nothing.
Nothing, because the thing about it will create a desert, as they would say, and that's why I always tell people, "Oh, these are food desert." Y'all create the desert by making these supermarkets that leave. Like again, we showed in San Francisco that they have all the Targets in the last episode last week, where the Targets are all everything behind.
And it didn't even look like a Target.
No,
it was so enclosed. If I didn't know I was looking at a Target, I would have thought it was, I don't know, what's the store where everything is just literally behind? I mean, it was just so enclosed.
Yeah.
It was that enclosed.
Black people need to stop lying. We really need to stop lying. Like, I sincerely hate the blind, misplaced anger. It's
Right.
like that Walmart on 83rd was destroyed. Like, I'm sorry, it's hot as hell in my house. So, excuse me, I'm a little
Flustered.
moist. That
Yes.
Walmart was completely destroyed during the riots, during COVID. I mean, completely destroyed. They even set something on fire in that store. It set off the sprinklers and flooded the entire store. And Walmart said, the hell with y'all. We're not reopening this store, period.
Yeah.
Because it's not worth it. So what happened? The community came together, protested, petitioned for Walmart to reopen that store. I don't even think it's been a full 2 years since that Walmart has reopened. So Walmart said, okay, we'll give it another shot. We'll reopen the store because we know that the community needs it. I was talking to one of the managers in there, and he was just telling me how bad the theft is at that store. Not only the theft is terrible, they have a lot of violent incidents. I think maybe it was just 2 weeks ago someone got killed up there. I hate going to that store.
Oh
I
my God.
go to that store out of necessity. I honestly go to that store out of necessity when I'm tired and I just don't feel like driving anywhere else. And every time I go in that store, I put my head down. I don't look nobody in the eye. I just want to get in and out. And it's always some kind of incident going on up in there. Walmart is like, we tired of this. We
Yes.
gone. Goodbye. No prior warning. Now, the day after Walmart announced that they were closing 4 stores, the very next day, somebody went in there and stole 6 TVs out of the store. And y'all want to stand out there and protest and say, oh, how could they do this? They are hurting our community. Well, Walmart was a resource for this community. The community did not protect that resource.
Exactly.
So the resource is going away.
As they would. That's
And
a
people
natural
are upset
response.
and calling Walmart racist because of this move. Please make it make sense.
Exactly.
Like, it really bothers me when people just blindly are mad and not looking at the logical side of the
Right.
situation. It doesn't make sense for any kind of company to come into a neighborhood and just continuously let people just steal,
Yeah.
shootings, fights. It's so hard for them to even keep employees, managers
Right.
at that location.
So
So
I could
why
imagine
would
with
they
all that
continue to
violence and disruption.
Yeah.
fight to keep this location open. All I'm saying is, yes, it's a very sad thing that the community is losing this store, losing this resource. It's sad for the law-abiding citizens that need that store, that rely on that store as their neighborhood Walmart. But, you know, the sad truth is, it doesn't make sense for them to keep the store
Right.
open if all these terrible things keep happening at this location. When Walmart reopened after the riots, it should have been 20 grandmothers up there. Grandmothers and grandfathers with house shoes and belts and bats standing at every aisle.
There you go. There you go.
I done told you, hey, come here.
But nobody is doing anything. No one is taking
Texas
responsibility.
justice.
Like, we understand. We understand why y'all leaving. Our bad. That's all I'm saying. Like, I've been watching the news stories all day, and people standing outside of that Walmart protesting, calling them racist. It's just like, come on, place the blame where blame is due. Let's
Exactly.
just be real, y'all. And that's all I'm gonna say about it.
Nah, you said
I
enough.
agree 100%.
You said enough.
100%. That blind, ignorant anger that they have towards Walmart should be turned around on their fellow peers in their community and going at them.
Yeah.
You should be embarrassed as a community that you're driving out of store because of how much the theft and disruption is in that place.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be an embarrassment. Don't make it a racial thing. That shouldn't be. And I can understand the inconvenience because, you know, Walmart, it has essential stuff and it's usually more
The same thing with
competitively
Walmart
priced.
and Target.
Exactly.
They're doing that to Target too.
And you know, as she
Well, not
was,
even that. They're doing that to Target, Walmart, Rite Aid, Walgreens.
yes, the Walgreens and Rite Aid have took hits too.
Yeah.
And you know, as she was talking, it's something popped in my mind. You know, Walmart and Sam's, of course, being under the same umbrella, but you don't see that at Sam's because, you know, for many reasons, I could guess, you know, you got your membership aspect, it's in bulk or whatever. I wonder, is this going to just drive more people to just shop at the store? Because you don't have that. Like, you literally, like we go to Sam's or a wholesale store weekly. We go there more than we go to a Target or a Walmart.
Yeah.
And I never even thought about that. And when we go, there is no disruption, and you don't have that kind of vibe in there. You know, everybody's just going in there, getting what they need to get, and leaving. You get your little sample of whatever Miss Betty or Miss Sue got going on, and you get your little toothpick, and you go about your business.
Yeah.
I wonder, is that like some is it something to that? Am I on this niche? Are we gonna have to like create memberships to go to Walmart?
Yeah, members only jackets. You said it, but that is that.
Like, if Biden's administration can punish people that have good credit, then we can punish people who steal and charge some type of membership. It could be a low fee membership, but just something where we get your background information so we know if you visited Walmart today and such is missing. We're gonna get to the bottom of it.
That is true.
I'm just.
Nah, but I get what you're saying. You just you gotta have fun with the business.
I mean, you do, because it really is. It really is a lot of. It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
And I feel for, because again, it's not one Walmart that's doing this. It's 4 Walmarts in Chicago that's shutting down. And for again, that's a Democratic run city. Let's go to the next city, Washington, Portland. All the Walmarts as well too. Leave. Cracker Barrel, leave. Cracker Barrel is leaving Washington, Portland, Oregon. They're like, we ain't making no money here. Bye.
Wow.
They're like, we're not doing that. And that one's not more of stealing. It's just that the taxes and all the stuff that they hit to Oregon. Now the Walmart's getting robbed in Oregon as well too because of that. And again, and that one is not black people. That's more white people. But it's still the same problem.
Right.
That's the thing.
People just stealing, theft.
Yeah. It is. And
not just that, she was talking about the disruption. You're just tearing up the store and violence.
And we saw, we wasn't there, but we were, as an example, we was there. It was a week later when we saw that video with a little girl.
Oh my Lord! I guess that wasn't even really a Walmart. That was a cry for help situation.
Yeah, we were like, we was in the same spot and everything. This little girl, there's a flower spot. She took out the flower and just trashed it right on the floor and
She
exit.
decided, yeah.
And she was just up in her, I don't know if it was her mom or grandma or auntie, whatever, up in her face. I'm like, little girl, sit your little butt down.
She decided to just have her, she just let loose in Walmart. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the messed up part about it. So that's just crazy mayhem. So I want to talk about this situation here again. So again, remember, defund the police. These are the people who say they fund the police. You just saw a video with the black guy just said they don't arrest nobody, so they get away with all the stuff they get to do. You want anarchy? That's where you get. See, America in the 90s and stuff, we had a good bad. Do you have any bad thing? Rodney King and all that stuff. We still have bad cops. We always will have bad cops. There's no 100% good or bad. There's always going to be a variety between grave areas. If a cop does something bad, and you saw me those shows about this. So in the past, if a cop does something bad and he's guilty of it, throw the book away. I don't care, whatever. But the thing about it is though, right now we're going down to anarchy. Because again, you go to Russia, you go to Venezuela, you go to China, whatever. They got cops, and I will tell you, I will say this right here: those cops are great and good. Why? Even though what they're doing is horrible, mean, and bad, they're following the rule of the law. Meaning that, you think you can say whatever about the government, whatever, and next thing you know, you ain't seen, they ain't see you. Oh, I saw Chanel yesterday. Where did she go? The cops got her. See that when the cops got her in those countries, the cops got you.
Right.
You ain't going nowhere. But here's again, and again, these are the politicians that y'all vote for over and over again. So here's the explanation of this. Here's the hypocrisy. Once again, the heretic, I should say.
Still in charge. Here's a tweet. So in 2020, this is her tweet. I want to make it clear that I believe strongly in defunding the police and reducing the number of officers on our force. For decades, we've had an imbalance in our city's budget with hundreds of millions of dollars going to San Francisco PD to have them do work they are not qualified to do.
Okay.
Well, look at the date. Okay. August 16, 2020.
Have them
Okay.
do
Mark
what?
that.
By the way, they lowered the budget by $120 million, the mayor, during that time.
Okay.
So now go back to the tweet and watch her video of what she says. Go to the video of what she says. You just had the tweet up.
Here we
Okay,
go.
play the clip.
This is her?
Watch this.
We've been begging for more footbeats and for more officers in the Mission
Oh, yeah.
District.
2 weeks ago.
Begging.
You hear?
Well, we had this conversation maybe a few weeks ago at some of the highest heights of how I felt emotionally or just passionate about certain issues that have dealt with police violence or brutality. I have never in my mind of logic said defund the police.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
like, how does that make sense? If there's something going on where we caught it on camera and it was a police officer was corrupt,
That's why I said,
wrong.
yeah.
How is the answer? How do we go to that to defunding the police versus getting more police training and making sure that there's more just more things in play to get policemen the aid that they need or to filter out police officers who need to be desk or whatever. I just never understood how, but I guess that's kind of like that hit them where it hurts, hit them, they think that hurts to hit them in the pocket. The average police officer is just a middle class person. So I'm trying to figure out, do they think that they're just rolling around driving Rolls Royce when they get off their shift? I don't understand.
No, it does kill me. No, it does. It does. It's a crazy. It just doesn't make sense. But they just think that stop the police and stuff like that. Again, you took away the guard dogs. Anybody will steal whatever. Yes, the guard dogs sometimes bite at people they shouldn't have bite at, bark at people they shouldn't have. I'm not saying they don't. That's what we're saying. But that ingenious plan of taking away the guard dog or taking the dog from the chicken coop. Yeah, the wolves gonna come no matter what.
There's too many people on this planet, people in the United States, to just say defund the police. When we just went from the last video of Walmart's literally getting closed because of how much theft they're getting. No, we don't need to create a smaller margin of policemen compared to the amount of crimes that we're getting.
We just need better. We need more, but we just need better policing to make sure everything is great.
Right, but that certainly doesn't equal out to defunding.
And I can respect all the cops because again, some of them were making 50, 60, they were making less than me.
Yes,
and they're like,
the average cop is. That's why I'm like, I know people who have served, and shout out to them.
Yeah,
this is this is
life job.
Such a
you can lose your life.
A service, truly. And that you cannot come home that night and you are not out here making six figures. I mean, it's just like, really? If we're gonna just defund them? Okay. Yeah.
Nope. That's what it says. Zephyr says, them say whatever they have to depend on the audience. Trump said whatever he feels regarding the audience. This is why I supported him. Ben Intrusion from San Francisco. I live in San Francisco. I have lived here for 15 years. It used to be a great city in the world. Liberal politics and politicians and policies have destroyed this once lovely city. Rainier said there was 5.3 million registered Republicans in California, including myself. What exactly do you want us to do when? Oops, that's the wrong thing there. When we still are completely outnumbered.
Yeah, and that is it. I mean, it's a very unbalanced scale, which we see that. I mean, in the policies that they have, and honestly,
again,
I've you got to be pretty rooted and tolerant to live there and be outside of the Democratic Party, because it is such a it's not much balance there in the policies.
And again, thank you for people. We got about 23,000 people watching in, so thank you all for giving me your time and ears and eyes for it. But here's the thing that killed me about it again in San Francisco. Again, Nancy Pelosi. I showed her a clip. I don't have a clip on my phone because it's on the other phone. But remember, I showed the clip. They put a budget of $800 million for parks. And Nancy Pelosi's park, that's in San Francisco, got 1/5. It's supposed to be for all 200 parks. That one park got more 1/5 of the budget for her park. That's it. She got the most money. While the other parks would need other stuff. Nope. You heard the clip when you guys said that.
And I love how when the video feed we was listening to, he said that, and he said it's a beautiful park, so you can have a good time and go out and walk around as your car's getting broken into. Exactly. It's not funny, but you see the joke in it. It's the truth.
It's the truth. And I said, again, like I said,
Lord.
Everybody always go, the one I hate in California the most. I know hate is a strong word. I'm sorry, but I dislike, which is of course the black lady was the thing. I've said it so much time. I look like they call her Auntie Pearl because whatever.
She really revised that. I'm bringing a chair to the table and I forgot her name.
I forgot her name too because I've used her name so much against her, so much against it. But I'm trying to remember who it was because I just know because of the nickname of Auntie Pearl. But she has also, again, remember, she does not live in the district. She doesn't live in the district. Yes. Maxine Waters.
Waters.
Waters. Maxine Waters.
I can see her face so clearly.
That's what I'm saying. She doesn't live in the district that she represents. While she lives, everybody in her district can't even compare to whatever, but she lives in a $6.6 million home someplace else. I think that's a law that should be across all America. You should live in the district that you represent. I think you should.
I remember when I first met you, you were very passionate about that. And I was like, yeah, in a perfect world. But truly you should, because you become very disconnected sometimes with administrating. Well, that's from the top down though.
Yeah.
Administrating these policies to people and how it affects them when you're not affected by it.
No.
You know, you get to go home behind your gated community.
And that's what I'm saying. Your neighbors is, hey Maxie, how you doing? Hey girl. While your constituents, bam, bam, blah, blah, duck. Oh my mama, I heard gun bullets and all kind of crazy stuff. Yeah. But let's rewind. I'll let it go a little further. But again, you see the heretics. And she laughing, thinking, because she got the applause, because she it's a lie. She literally said, before the police, we've been asking and marching. No, you have not.
We've been begging for more footbeats and for more officers in the Mission District. I've been begging this department to give the Mission what it deserves in terms of police presence all year long. And I have been told time and time and time and time again, there are no officers that we can send to Mission. It hurts, and I feel betrayed by the department. I feel betrayed by...
Oh, she's a Hillary too. I didn't notice that. That kind of makes sense too. That literally is what do call it? The white people and whatever.
Karen.
That's a Karen right there.
Well, the word Karen, these Karens come in all shapes, sizes,
Yeah.
creeds, colors.
Yes. But
I've seen them on opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, but that's a true Karen right there, Hillary. Yeah, so I feel so bad, Hillary. Look at that. I'm not gonna compare it. 2020 said that just a couple last month.
When you
different
loved
story.
it, been there to waive that receipt and that's.
Oh yes, I would. You know I would.
I feel betrayed by the priorities of the city. It
What?
is not this Board of Supervisors' priorities. We want our residents safe.
That's a lie.
So maybe she should not.
Getting assaulted, getting killed, because in the mission, Chief, it's not theft. In the mission, people are getting shot and killed.
That was happening before you became that as
And
well
maybe
too,
she should
lady.
not tweet her contradictions next time.
The liberal hive mind is messed
The
up.
mission people are getting beat up. In the mission, people are dying.
This was happening before you got elected. I know that because again, my friend and everything. I know about that back then.
No shit, Sherlock. Go on Twitter and look at her last tweet. Just go to her account right there and look at her last tweet. Okay, zoom in. Her last tweet, 23, peace out, Twitter. Time is precious. We'll be using time I spend on this forum having direct, productive conversations with the people of San Francisco.
You piece of loser.
You lie. And she only did that because Elon Musk took over. Cause Twitter is not the cesspool as it's still a cesspool. Still ain't dipping my waters. I don't care if Elon Musk got it or not, but it's still a cesspool.
Good luck to you, lady.
Yeah.
So this is the part where, you know, as sad as it is, because a guy who created a great company that's created thousands of jobs, who moved to Miami because he didn't feel safe in the middle of the night, gets stabbed. A week after this, a week and a half after, whatever, 2 weeks after this comment she makes, and she's the same person. So now, why don't you come out and apologize about your original policies?
Never.
About the fact that you felt about defunding the police. Now you want to talk about, I feel that they're not wanting to protect the city. Sarah Foster's an actress.
Yeah.
I love that you found
Anybody who,
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say that before this goes into, it's only now because it started to affect those people, the rich in that district, whatever. Remember the one I showed you? I ain't showed you, but I told you about it. I did this on the show before, where this guy was like, "Yeah, go ahead, fight for the power, whatever." He was telling that to black people, like, "Y'all feel hurt, whatever." And then the next tweet was, "Get these animals out of here," because they came to his neighborhood and started burning down his part. Remember? I showed that tweet.
Oh,
So
boy.
you can't make this stuff up.
No.
makes it on Vanity Fair. You're like left. You're part of the camp.
100%.
You're qualified. She slams San Francisco for being a shithole.
Weird.
So go to the bottom to read the entire quote of what she said right there. I have no words. Right there at the bottom. Go a little lower. I have no words. San Francisco is a complete shithole. I'm a registered Democrat and feel confident saying liberal politicians are ruining cities. Disgusting.
There you have it.
Breaks for this family. Okay, and this is the daughter of David Foster, by the way.
16-time Grammy winner, David
16
Foster.
times.
Yeah.
Oh
you know, it's crazy. You started us off with UFC and all that. Funny story. So, the guy freaking stole my keys that were running around.
Yeah.
Vinny and I are running around
The whole time.
The whole time. We go to the guest services, and the one guy in front of us at guest services, Vinny will remember this. He goes, "Oh shit, what's up, man?
Yeah.
How you doing, BBD? What's up?"
Jersey.
Huge fan. I'm like, "What's up, buddy?" He goes, "I'm a cop in Jersey.
Yeah.
I just came down here with my girl to have a great time UFC." Boom. Oh, tell Pat. I said, "What's up?" I said, "What's up?" He goes, "I got to tell you. You know how they talk about defund the police? Let me tell you something." Was he talking about New Jersey police or New York?
I think he's talking about Jersey.
He said before COVID, he said they would get between 80,000 and 100,000 applicants to join the police force. He goes, "You know what it is now? In a year, 1,500.
Yep.
Did he not say
Wow.
those numbers?
Yes, he did.
This is
He
his
did.
story. I said, "What?" I go, "That
It's the same story in New York
beyond
City.
ridiculous increase."
And pause it right
decrease.
quick. And that to me, and this has been a point too that people have been complaining about of having more police who are of color in communities and stuff, when you see that decline, we can only assume that that's a big hit to the minorities who applied. And why? When we see such negative scrutiny and you're defunding those programs, how are they going to afford to hire more people that can be of color and help to serve a community that looks like them? But
no,
there you go.
No, you're correct. You're correct about that. Shout out to NAA who's listening, watching through the YouTube app as well. Feels like the end of times. I was wasting my life trying to get one. I want to go on a date with on my birthday. I wish you the best, my boy.
I do too. And you were here in North Carolina, maybe I could find a good date for you. So that means you gotta come to North Carolina.
I do not have
taxes are cheaper.
Yeah, I don't have the kid you will sacrifice for the government while complaining about the government. Yep, that's most what people do. That is true. That's definitely true. To Anderson saying, but yeah, those guys. I'll just use that. Let's finish it. I'll use that right there and finish. And that's what the guy said. I want one more thing, and we're done because it is that, which is here's this part right here, this goes to you because of what we've talked about, the school and stuff. And I always said this was gonna fail, but here you go.
Much of which I agree with, but much of which has been a hysterical caricature used to cover up long-standing economic inequities. Both sides have a point that the other side appears to have lost it. Peel back the layer of screaming at each other. Try to remember what the fight is really about. Really, it's about what type of country that you want to live in, the systems that we have in place, and how they should work. Perhaps no area of the debate has been hotter than education policy, mostly in the media focusing on teaching about race and how much input parents should have on gender ideology in schools. But much of what actually misses the point is the most important debate of all: equality of opportunity or equality of outcome. You can basically describe the latter as the underlying desire of the new, quote, equity movement. The equity movement works to promote equality of outcome by focusing on systemic inequalities in racial outcomes and trying to normalize everyone to the same level. This, of course, sounds good for everyone who's below average, but it's a nightmare for those who are above average, as it deliberately seeks to lessen opportunity for all and to get the desired social outcome. This was the underlying goal for San Francisco in 2015, when they saw racial achievement gaps in math outcomes. They decided the real problem was that high-achieving students, which were disproportionately Asian, were getting a leg up on other races because they had access to advanced math courses in middle school, specifically 8th grade. And the gap only continued to widen throughout high school. So to prevent the gap, San Francisco landed on this genius solution. Take away the ability for any student to take Algebra 1 in middle school. You can't have a gap.
My
You
Lord.
don't even give it an opportunity to develop.
The crippling, that's a form of child abuse. Because, I mean, you think about, and mind you, there are some courses I could say they could take out that have no point to be, but algebra is not one of them, and especially for such a reason as that. It is such a cringy move when you try to.
It's a fight to the bottom because they're trying to say we need to have more black people to do this, and this, and then you bring out everybody else.
No, and you're doing a disservice to the kids by setting the bar so low.
No, yes, you are. Because again, once you get out of that school setting and you don't know nothing, you're not gonna achieve nothing when you get into the real world. Because here's the thing: the real world don't owe you nothing.
No, and there are basic fundamentals that I like to think that public schools are still teaching. That algebra falls under that umbrella. They need, they may not get to, I don't know, advanced algebra, but they definitely need some form of algebra. All children, and it's sad. And we heard this. Was it Washington who did that too? Seattle, where they was trying to lower the bar for students based off.
It was
of
Washington.
Yeah.
Maryland.
Yeah,
the school justified the decision, saying it would instead bolster math curriculum for everybody, making it more fair to all students and putting them all in the same classes, low, middle, and high achievement.
You will never get that. That the part that came where you try to get everybody to get the same thing. Who thought that was, again, only socialism does that.
Right.
It doesn't work. Everybody is not that.
Now, first, it's important to lay out why some high-achieving 8th graders want to take Algebra 1 in middle school. The reason is because doing so allows one to take more advanced math classes senior year of high school. Very advantageous to any student applying to a STEM program with math prerequisites. We also shouldn't forget, the more AP courses that you can take in high school, the more credits that you get in college that are valuable tuition.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's a huge point that not, well, I don't know about now, but I know during my time, I didn't take advantage of it as much as I should. And that's one of the few perks, to public schools is having the classes where you're able to earn college credit still in high school, because guess what? College is not free.
Yeah.
But sometimes we operate in that way that we think it is, and it's not.
And then thinking about it again, they had kind of like that a little bit, not as much. They had it for my sister. My sister got that.
College credit, you didn't have that set up.
I didn't get that. But here's the thing though, when I got to college, I tested out a lot of classes because
you're a nerd.
You're my wife.
You got me.
Exactly. You're my wife. So,
give me nerdy children, Lord.
There you go.
San Francisco relied on to make sure that their kids have a chance, especially in the ultra-competitive UC system.
Here's the funny part, which he's going to explain. You try to do this to stop them from doing it. Here's the problem. It's just it just is. I have more economical opportunities to do certain things than most people who are poor. I get that. I understand that. What you can do is go to a library. What you could do is use the internet to do certain stuff. There's stuff that you could do when you're poor. And I've done it myself when I was poor.
Yeah, like you're speaking.
Yeah, but but still, I don't have the advantage over somebody who has the funding for it. As you're going to see right now.
So effectively, the city made the decision to cripple these people and to make their lives more difficult in the name of equity. How did it work out? We now have almost a decade of data, and predictably, it was a disaster. A new study, a team of...
Who would have thought? Huh?
And we've got to do a memorial service for the use of the word equity, too. Because, I mean, it's just become...
It's become...
yeah.
It has. Which is sad.
They looked at 23,000 students and performance over the years to find this quote: white and Asian enrollment in advanced pre-calculus was still over twice that of Black and Hispanic students. Black and Hispanic calculus enrollment remained below 10% before and after reform. The test scores show, quote, Black and Hispanic 11th graders in San Francisco earned appalling scores on state math tests, scoring about the same as or lower than the typical 5th grader in the state. In effect, showing that they learned a grand total of nothing in 6 years of schooling. Even more troubling, the system adapted. The proportion of students who chose not to enroll in any math course in senior year did not change at all. And here's the really crazy part. Not only did nothing change for Black and Hispanic students, nothing also changed for white and Asian students. How and why? Because even though the school did not offer Algebra 1 in 8th grade, parents simply enrolled them in online algebra programs or in summer school or private school, costing them lots of
money. You just created more work on the parent.
The people who really suffered were the parents of high-achieving students who both got bilked at local and state tax level and had to pay more for private schooling.
Right.
It's fair, right? The people who want to do better had to pay more. The people who the policy was meant to help not only didn't get help, arguably got worse. This is the terrifying future of an affirmative action-led society. I've been sounding the alarm here for quite some time about similar efforts going on in law school and in med school. They are trying their best to ditch merit-based criteria like LSATs, MCATs, and GPAs in favor of essays. Doing it because they know the court is going to strike down affirmative action and they want to be able to preserve racial quotas. The only way to do so is to make sure that you can't prove racial discrimination with objective metrics. The byproduct is that there is no way to know if anyone in a position that was once thought of as prestigious actually earned their way there.
Right.
Worse, the new affirmative action world makes it easier for parents and students with resources to game the system and attain the place that they would have gotten anyways. The only way in the future to make sure that your doctor or your lawyer is someone you can trust, you got to ask a friend or an acquaintance or someone you know. This is crazy. It circumvents the entire reason credentials and objective criteria exist.
Are put in place, exactly.
In the 1800s, admittance to Harvard and other high echelons of society entailed getting things like letters of character from established gentlemen of society. Naturally, this did not work well for Jews, blacks, people of any minority that was smart and wanted to get a leg up, but they couldn't get past discrimination. Credentials were established specifically to give public faith in professions with rigorous standards, the understanding, though, that the community of those who have the credential would also police each other to make sure that they did what they said they could do and learned what they were supposed to in school. In our new world, you can't trust anything. Because remember this, the only reason that we know about that San Francisco experiment is because we had test scores. You already know what the lesson that they've learned is. It's not bring back Algebra 1. It's get rid of test scores entirely. First,
There you go.
the SAT and the ACT. Next, they're coming for the GPA. They're already saying those are racist, not equitable. They'll keep any semblance that we have of a fair society. And remember this, they will do it in the names of the poor and the marginalized. And in reality, it will serve the richest and the most powerful who are amongst us. How crazy is that?
I've always said that's what it is. Just when y'all say that, I've said that before. Many times before.
Parents, you got to step up.
Yeah.
You cannot afford to be passive in the education of your children because that's crippling. That's crippling the kids.
Yeah.
And you may not be able to have the resources to put them in a private course, but there are resources out there, and there are free resources out there, because that's crippling. I mean, those are basic fundamentals that every child would need by the time they graduated.
It is. And that's the part that sucks. That, again, they try to do that, but again, people who have resources going to be resourceful. That's literally what they call it, resources.
Right.
So, again, I want to thank you guys for joining us tonight again.
Yes, thank you guys. Thank you guys for commenting and hanging out with us. And hopefully we'll have some positive stuff to talk about next.
I got you. I got you.
Well, I'm just talking about in the world. Something.
We learned something from the church.
There's positive things that are happening, but you know.
I only do this so people will be aware of what's going on. And then they'll understand what's going on as well, too. That one the one I did at the beginning is to help people understand it, because some people might never understand what's really going on. And again, look at the policies they came with, and it hurts your kids.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not trying to say it's negative. I want you to be informed so you can make the right decision.
Right.
You have the choice to do this. So it is what it is. But again, you see it. Just so that works down the step. We talked about how they're punishing people to be good. And a person told me this or whatever. Being bad is a simple life. Is it a hard life? Is it a hard life because of the consequences? It is. But it literally is a simple life because you ain't got no morals. Being a good person is a tough life.
Yeah. Well, that's biblical. You know, the road to heaven is very narrow, but it's rewarding.
Yeah. So that's all we're saying. And then you got the point where you see, as a young lady did, and a black man did, said, that's good. We gotta hold ourselves accountable for certain things. Again, I would not do that. You would not do that. Most black people don't do that. But there's a subset that does that. And then you want to know, the white man's holding us back because we don't have a Walmart. If you, as the lady said, your ninjas wasn't stealing, you would have had the stuff. Again, I talked about the doctor in New York who had a pharmacy because Walgreens and stuff wouldn't want to be there. He did that. Y'all robbed him. He was a black man, and he took away his store.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just that. And last but not least, you gotta prepare your kids for the future. You gotta do the best as you can. Use any available sources you have. You have internet. You have that. Do it again. That's why I said what before. I had internet. I had stuff to learn and do that. I read. I do all kind of stuff as well. Teach your kids that young to read, critical think, because they're trying to kill. That's what they're trying to kill.
Critical thinking.
Critical thinking is not taught in schools either.
Yeah.
They're trying to take something as objective as math and they destroy it.
Yeah.
So let's not do that. Be in your child's life, people. Okay, just the best as you can. Talk to your child. Be there for your child so you can help them get better up. So again, thank you for joining us. Hope y'all have a good night. A good catch us back out next week. A Project Open Mic. Again, remember, the people who make the most money, like I said, my phrase of course was, the rich will stay rich, the poor will keep on getting messed up, and the middle class which just getting effed over. But it is what it is in that regard, and it's sad. It really is. So, like I said again, hope you guys have a good night. Remember, evil comes in all shapes, size, creed, color, height, sex, gender, nationality, location. It make no difference. Evil is evil, and of course, also be that smart individual, because again, people are stupid, individuals smart. Be that smart individual.
Yes.
All right. Catch y'all next time. Peace out.
Bye.
Have a good day.